Yep, we're good. I got 3 people. I'm not sure who they are.
Joel Dickinson.
Oh, hi, Joel. Thank you. Joel is online.
All right, I'm gonna call this meeting of the planning commission on April 13th at 5 p.m. to order. Angela, personally speak. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I'm looking for approval of the March 9th meeting minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Got a motion second. Any discussion? Now I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, CSM Allison, Warners / Lynch and Associate Engineering, 4757 Riverside Road. Representative, please come on up. Please, your attention.
Hi, thank you. Tim Lynch with Lynch and Associates. We're a firm in both Burlington and New Berlin, Wisconsin, so pretty much local here. This is a relatively straightforward CSM. It's a 3-lot CSM of an existing lot. Previously, there was some lots that had been combined. The CSM itself is in compliance with the zoning ordinance. So there's a required shoreland and shoreland zoning as required lot width of 65 feet. This is, all 3 lots are greater than that. So it's in compliance with the zoning code. We confirmed that with Racine County, have that confirmation that we had sent out as well. So any questions at all, be happy to entertain them.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Lynch? Okay, to make you aware, we have a neighbor that reached out to us, and we got some pictures regarding flooding of those lots over there.
Okay.
Okay, and if it retained water, so I want to give that neighbor an opportunity to discuss the report too, and then we may call you back up and.
Sure. One item just on drainage. Obviously, this is just the CSM portion. This is the land portion. These would need to come forward with engineered plans for any houses that we propose there. And also does go through the shoreline zoning permit process with the county. So there would be that opportunity at that time as well. This is really just a straight survey portion at this point, but happy to hear answer your questions after that.
Tony, any comments to that? The neighbor's here, so I want to give him a.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Other neighbor? Or neighbors?
If you could please state your name and address when you come up. Thank you.
Nathan Grabowski, 4813 Riverside Road. I'm the house directly north of this particular lot. All right, I kind of wrote down some bullet points, so bear with me when we get older, I gotta get my readers. I'm just gonna go through where I'm coming from to basically make everybody aware. And like I said, if this is an initial stage, and I appreciate that, this is more to say, hey, this stuff needs to get addressed or whatnot. And I'll start off by saying I found out about this proposal accidentally. Okay, last week I was talking to someone about this particular lot and expressing some of my frustration regarding the approval, because I had already seen the lot divided into 3 and being sold as 3 separate lots. So I thought it already passed. Okay. Now, this person had told me that, you know, that hadn't been decided yet and that there was a meeting about it today. Okay, this was a week ago. So my first question is, do we not notify neighbors regarding proposals that might directly affect them? Was this going to get discussed or approved without hearing anything from any neighbor that might be affected by this? And is there a system in place where myself or abutting neighbors, or any neighbor for that matter, would have been notified about this prior to allowing it? And I guess that's my first question, is this something that could have gotten approved without even knowing about it? I didn't get a letter or anything like that, so I wouldn't have been here today if I didn't accidentally stumble onto this. And some of my neighbors, they were dumbfounded as well, and I'm sure that they might have wanted to speak up their mind as well. So is there something in place that we send a letter or anything, or no? Is that not part of?
I'm gonna defer to the clerk's office, that's a mistake. But
I am checking with Tina right now, but it would have, if there was something in place, we would have sent it out.
Okay, and don't get me wrong, this is something for another day. I'm not gonna waste our time today, but I mean, I looked up the pier permit on the town website, And in order to get a pier permit, you have to submit a plan, and then they have to send the thing out to neighbors left and right and everything else, just to get a pier. Like,
Correct.
You're talking about dividing what used to be one house into three, and I don't even get a letter,
Yeah,
so.
as you mentioned,
We'll address that later. We'll address.
as you mentioned,
address
the
that.
permit that there's 2 more steps that have to be done before this is
Okay, okay.
finalized, so this
All right.
is just
Well,
preliminary.
I'll put that to bed for now. So moving forward, just to recap the email that I sent to Mr. Alessi's attorney, which you guys should have all gotten a copy of. The lot closest to mine takes on substantial amounts of water. Not every rainfall, but numerous times throughout the year. The pictures that I took that I sent you were just one example from a decent rainfall. It gets much worse than the photos that I sent. In my opinion, the flooding that I have seen over there as a result of poor grading and a lack of proper drainage on the other side of the street. It comes from vacant lot of pools, eventually goes right over Riverside Road to the lot in question. Now, if you want to grade that lot or figure out a way for proper drainage so that it doesn't come across the street, then the lot in question might not be an issue. But I don't feel it should be approved if we don't know how, when, or if the lot across the street will be handled. So my next point, it's a 200-foot lot. My understanding is that it might be possible to break this into 3 lots of 66 feet each, which is 1 foot over the 65-foot requirement, according to what I heard that they're trying to do. I'm not sure if that's set in stone or how old that requirement's been around. If I was to guess, this is an old standard that was probably put in place when people were still building 800 square foot summer cottages on the Fox River, rather than 2,500 to 3,000 square feet that most are getting away with now. Okay. I fully understand the times have changed, and I would be accepting of this under normal conditions. However, these are not normal conditions. If you allow 3 lots of 66 over there, I cannot envision how you would have sufficient space to properly grade or ditch the water towards the Fox between our properties. The new owner will most likely raise or grade their new house, ensuring that they don't have to deal with any potential water concerns. However, this will effectively push all of the water that has been going there directly to my house, which has never had any water concern of any kind. In closing, I'm asking that this lot be divided into nothing more than 2 lots to allow for runoff of the rainwater without affecting the abutting properties. Now, for the sake of transparency, I miss Carl Thompson. That was my former neighbor. He passed, okay? He was a good friend. I wasn't thrilled seeing his house torn down, and I'm not enthused about having 2 or 3 houses go up there, okay? However, I've come to terms with that, and I'm moving on. I'm looking forward to meeting any new neighbor. I just hope that our first meeting isn't about what they will or what they won't do to protect my house from a problem that they didn't even know about. I'm asking that you don't just pass the buck on to an unknowing buyer that's going to buy this land and then find out. You've seen the pictures, and that's just one small storm. I've been more than willing to meet with anyone over there to show them exactly what's going on. And I'm now begging that this is given proper thought before allowing the proposed 3 lots. This is not about privacy or having a house too close to mine. With 2 lots, I can get some arborvitaes if that became a problem. With 3 lots, I'm guessing the only thing that I'll be putting over there is sandbags, given the current state. Thank you for your time. I'm hoping that this isn't like just decided immediately, that maybe somebody comes out, meets with me or meets with whoever to look at the actual land and go, this is the problem and this is what we're facing. Is there enough room, or is there something we can do so that this water has somewhere to go? So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
To answer your question, rezone and variances are the only ones that we notify neighbors for.
Any other neighbor that would like to speak real quick?
I'm Charles Barsky, 5001 Riverside Road. Besides we took down a really nice house on that lot. People driving by can see the water and all that kind of stuff. Besides any of that, I hope the planning commission takes into account that, every couple of years, we have referendums about, school enrollment's low, and we need more tax dollars, we need to do this and add this to make up for the money that the school system's not getting from the state. Building 3, what would likely be Airbnb / people coming up from Illinois 3 weekends of the year to use these properties, doesn't do anything to help Waterford as a whole, like to solve some of those issues that it's having. Building one or two really nice houses where a family could move in, their kid would go to the school district. You know, that I think is more fits what Waterford wants to do. Then we have the issue of like the boating on the waterway. So you have people that use the waterway twice a year, then these properties they own or rent to Airbnbs, and you have more unsafe boating in an already heavily trafficked waterway system. I just hope you guys take that into that comes across your thoughts, and you know, having more boats. I don't know what they're doing out there on Fridays or Saturdays is not something that the waterway needs.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, or I'll call Tim back up? Want to address the board again with what you heard?
Sure. Yes, as far as the drainage, we are aware of the drainage. There are existing setbacks that are required. So there'll be plenty of space for drainage to be conveyed down lot lines and whatnot. And yes, we do understand that these will need to be engineered lots, that drainage will need to be looked at. As well as it goes through the shoreline zoning with the King County as well through that permitting process. So yes, we understand that there's some drainage that does need to be accommodated, and we're aware of that and can accommodate it engineering wise. In regards to who they're selling to, or Airbnbs, I don't know if that's really applicable here. I haven't heard anything about that. It was being sold to families, but again, that's not applicable to P&Z. So with that, I guess I'll just leave you with this. This is again a land division that's within the ordinance, relatively straightforward that way. And the metering items, as far as drainage, would be addressed at the time of building permit, but also is very much addressable. So,
No. Refer to the board here. How do you wish to proceed?
Tim, is there any variances that these houses would need on these lots?
No.
They all meet the square.
Yes.
Setback.
correct. We meet all the setbacks, meet all the lot widths, all the size requirements, the 10,000 square feet, they're all greater than that, so meets all the requirements.
Any other questions for engineer? How does the board wish to proceed with the going stuff?
Well, it seems to meet all of the specs of the ordinance. Right, all right, I don't know what else to say, Jim.
Well, are you making a motion or what are you?
I would have to move to approve.
You making a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion in a second.
Okay, we have a motion second, I'll call for discussion now. Everybody board discussion. I have one clarification with the term. Discussion.
I have one thing, I don't know, so this flooding was existing before that property was sold there?
It's always been, what I heard, it's always been soft, but there was a house on it, you know what I mean?
So the thing is that where the house was located, it was towards the middle of these three lots. And the flooding was taking place on what was the previous owner's driveway, so it was just kind of like overlooked and whatever else. But now, if you divide these into three separate lots, the bulk of that is going right through that first lot. So that's why it's gotta get addressed, and as far as drainage between my property and this property, it wasn't on their survey as far as their preliminary survey, so I don't know if they're taking down the boathouse / shed, but there's a boathouse /
Yeah, I
shed
saw that.
right next to my boat, no, my boathouse is in their diagram.
Yeah.
Theirs is not, it's not existing in that diagram for some reason, so I don't know if they're removing that, but it's got a 4 to 6 inch concrete pad, so it's not like it's a removable shed, so I don't know if they're planning on getting rid of that or not, but that's literally from the property line to the point where it's like trying to build something in between those two is gonna be a bit difficult, so I don't think.
Can I ask you why that boathouse is not on your middle?
I believe it because we were removing it, but either way, from an engineering standpoint, if we have to put a storm sewer in or something else to accommodate drainage, we can do that. Confident in
Okay,
that.
I have a question. Go ahead.
And the town does work with Porter, correct? For all the drainage stuff with everything that is over a 6 inch grade, I think it is, or a 12 inch change in grade.
Sure.
Correct. You guys work
Yeah,
with
yes,
Porter?
we work with for all the time, and With this being shoreline zoning, it has to go through the Racine County permitting, which then gets kind of drainage permits, so I do similar reviews for the town of Burlington all the time.
So my question for you, Tony, can, at this level, because you said they got 2 more to go, and I mean, can we put any restrictions on this? Like, I mean, obviously the boathouse not on here, that would be part of the motion, if the boathouse has gotta be gone. But can we put any restrictions, they have to do like a water study or something? Last thing I want us to be responsible for is, if this is approved by this board, the town becomes responsible because we didn't hear the neighbor out. I mean, I don't want the neighbor to go through any, this has happened in other spots in the town. I just wanna make sure it doesn't happen here.
I don't think so. So with this just being the division. There's still those safeguards in place. In step 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So.
There are safeguards in place there.
So
And will this eventually come back to the board then too? When they go, well, obviously anybody that built there is gonna have to come back to planning. So we'll be revisiting this again down the road.
So I've got just one follow-up question. So yeah, step 2, step 3, we can address that. My question is there an issue now? That needs to be addressed with the property? Given the drainage problem.
Yeah, there's some existing drainage that needs to be accommodated in the proposed grading plan when we get to that stage.
Aren't we solely just here for the division of the land?
Correct.
Because all we're approving is the 3 lots.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, this is all just survey paper. There's no real engineering to this at this point.
And currently, I mean, it could have just been the house was filled in on a whim, and the lots are higher, lower, whatever, and that just needs to be graded changed.
Correct.
But there was no water problems when the old house was there to the current neighbors, correct?
Correct. And then, you know, obviously we've got to accommodate drainage. We've got to make sure that drainage is still conveyed to where it needs to go. So that's all understood.
All right, we have a motion and a second. How does this board want to move forward?
What was the motion again, Tim?
And I'm gonna
What are
read
we
it back.
approving?
It was a motion to approve the division into 3 lots.
And a second. All right, so I'll
Yes.
call for a vote now. All in favor of moving this forward to the next steps?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Joel?
we'll move forward.
Aye.
The next steps, but I will tell the resident, you watch the next steps too, so you get everything covered.
how am I supposed to watch this?
Tony will be notifying you, when it goes to what Rihanna said, now these next steps, you should be notified for, and anything built there is gonna have to come back to the planning commission to address.
And every week it is posted, or every month it's posted on the website.
Correct.
So you can definitely look the first of the month and the.
But it's like you're, you know, referencing that if it wasn't a problem before, they took the house down, or maybe it was their grading, like it was the quick grading of the lot. The lot across the street, when it rains hard, there's kids in kayaks over there, okay, like, this is not a problem from their grading.
I
That
understand.
lot goes up, and they can kayak in there, and it goes over Riverside Road directly onto that property. So that's, and my biggest concern was not just for myself, but just a future neighbor going, all right, they don't know what they're getting into. So I do want.
Well, it's on record now,
It's gonna be my neighbor. I want to build.
it's on record now, and you can also sign up for email alerts too. So you don't, when in planning commission, so,
Can I ask one question, Tim? Quick?
yes.
You were talking about the neighbor comes from across the street. Whose responsibility is to rectify that? Make that right? If all that water is coming from across the street onto that property, who's
That could have
responsible?
been years ago, you know?
Is it no one's responsibility?
Well, one's a lot, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I have no clue, this was right about this Friday. So we have to be really researched, and this could be 20, 30 years ago, they won't want to build on that lot, it's gonna come up. Especially if it's all underwater, so,
Yeah, there's a lot of lots of water for that.
yeah,
Water
underwater,
gets
so.
really wet.
All right, we had a motion second, we had a vote, and it passed, so.
Thank you very much.
Forward, yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, I don't really have any forthcoming events, so looking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
A motion second, on favor? Aye.
Aye.
5:19. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Gavel away.
All right, thanks for coming, we're to call this meeting to order.
Use your button.
Waterford Town Board, April 13th at 5:30 p.m. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of town board minutes dated March 9th, 2026, and special meeting minutes dated March 27th as printed.
I'll move to approve the minutes as printed.
I have a motion looking for a second.
I'll second that, I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? I have a call for vote on.
Oh, hold on, there is one thing I had a question on, the item number HB, the last three lines, Chairman Zeklinski requested that we have legal representation during this ad hoc working group, and Attorney Krishak was going to look into whether the ad hoc is considered a publicly constituted body. Have you had a chance to look at that, Krishak?
Yeah, to some extent.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
So
in the
it's-
process. Kind of gave on.
It's kind of. Yes, there's certain requirements that would have to be met for it to be ad hoc. So, but yeah, it is possible to have that ad hoc committee. But it's,
Continue looking into it.
Or you're still looking into
I
it?
am. I
Okay,
could go into more detail, but there's a lot to it.
okay, thank you.
All right, take a motion second, looking to call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, approval of plate claims as treasurer's report. I will read the treasurer's report and then we'll discuss the claims. General tax checking, $217,240.35. General operating, money market, $924,540.22. Loan payoff balance as of 4/2, $733,960.98. Fleet exhaustion reserve fund, $255. There was one claim that was brought to my attention that was not one, didn't want to approve, but it's from several months ago, that 12/12/2025 for $199.75. I do request that it does get paid with the rest of them, so we can move forward. Questions, anything else that was presented?
No, I'll move to pay claims as presented.
Got a motion, looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Second, any discussion?
I have something real quick, Tim.
Bob.
Just want to caution on the DPW. Looks like sorry, my lines here are small. The part-time wages, I'm sorry, the overtime wages have almost been expended for the year. Just want to keep an eye on that.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you.
Got a motion second? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, department committee, I don't have any correspondence right now. I'll cover my stuff at the end. Department committee reports, Greg Horace. Keep this short sweet. Yeah,
You don't normally say that before the person starts talking.
I know.
As long as I can, so. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you. From a county perspective over the last month, here's a follow-up on the information that I did send to you all, so you should have it in your meeting packets. Number one, we did have discussion and approvals for the Racine County Sheriff's Office contract for Sturtevant. We've gone through the first reading on it. The second reading is coming up on Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night. There is no reason to believe it won't be passed at that point. It is a pretty comprehensive agreement with them. And so that is in place and ready to go. Number two, we did approve the proposal for the Sheriff's Department wage scale, which ties to their new union contract. So once again, this was all predetermined somewhat when you have a union agreement on that. And we've done the work to make sure that's taken care of. Number three, we did review the entire compensation survey, which was conducted by a company called McGrath. This compensation survey did everything. It studied not only wages, but it studied benefits, all of the aspects of operating the county's 1,100 employees.
I was actually pretty impressed with how McGrath did their work. Couple of areas I might have looked at a little differently, but listen, you're always gonna have that. But they did a very comprehensive job. We as a county have approved the recommendations that got put in, which basically establishes a wage scale that will be established somewhere in the neighborhood of the mid to slightly above mid of the competing municipalities, which is a very reasonable type of presentation. So at this point in time, that is moving forward. Those increases will not go into effect, if I'm not mistaken, until September 1st. So that'll give some time yet. Everybody's planning on it. And of course, we're now in the process of starting the budget for next year. So believe it or not, it's that time. I'm sure you're probably feeling the same thing. Number 4, I'd like to congratulate certainly Supervisor Tom Machowski and also Bill McCormick on their elections. I didn't want to overlook, though, the appreciation that I wanted to extend also to Doug, Phil, and Dave for being a part of this process and showing to our community we've had caring individuals that obviously were interested in being a part of moving this forward. And so it's easy to recognize and congratulate those that did get into the seats, but I didn't want to overlook those 3 individuals because they continue to be assets to our community, and we should always make sure we show our appreciation and thank them for that. Number 5, I participated personally with the WWMD in the actual presentation for the grant opportunity for the drawdown dredging project. I won't speak to that topic. I'll only speak to the component that I addressed the county board, the Finance and Human Resource Committee, specifically with a request for $1 million. We will see how that goes. That was the first time they've come back with some questions that they want us to address, which we're more than happy and we'll be prepared to do so. But I will tell you that I thought the presentation by the district did an excellent job of preparing it. They did a very nice job in presenting it. And frankly, the questions that were being asked were ones that were pretty much answered in the presentation. People just felt, I think, many times that they had to go through and ask some things on their own. So all in all, I thought that that's a positive move. We're not there yet, but we're sure to move forward. Number 6. I did participate, and I say this, I wanted everyone to be aware of the Meals on Wheels program that goes around in the county. And I wanted everyone to know that it does also touch parts of Waterford as well. I personally participated in actually doing deliveries a couple of times over the past month because I wanted to feel and see exactly what went on in this process. And I'll tell you what, it's a pretty moving type of scenario when you get a chance to talk to some people who unfortunately may not have the ability to have funding for themselves, to be able to have meals and have meals that are delivered to them that frankly are plentiful enough to normally get a second meal out of. So it was a very rewarding opportunity, one that I appreciated being a part of. And the last item, Mr. Seklinski, on my list is that I was in fact selected, or elected, I should say, for another 2-year term as your county representative. I will tell you, I was worried for a moment there that I might lose to a write-in vote. That ended up being roughly 15 write-ins came in from Waterford, so we'll have to seek out who all those were, but nonetheless, I will, unfortunately, Tim, to your demise, I will be your representative for the next 2 years, and so I hope that everybody understands and appreciates that. I'm available to answer any questions at this point, or else I have already been instructed on what I need to do as soon as I'm done by taking the microphone and handing it to the chief. I'm ready to do that. So, is there any question that I can answer?
No questions from me.
All right, thank you.
Greg.
Thank you all. I better, chief, I'm on my way.
All right,
There you go.
Thank you.
all right. Chief, you're up.
Going over the numbers for month of March. The department as a whole was assigned to 623 calls for service. Taking out crime preventions and calls that no officer was assigned to or turned over. 483 is the number that we actually responded to and handled. To note, 90 traffic stops. We're really focusing on traffic as the weather gets warmer, trying to slow people down, especially in areas of concern that people have brought up.
We had 2 misdemeanor arrests, 1 felony arrest, 4 ordinance violation arrests. We compiled 11 incident reports, 4 informational, and 9 accident reports. Some other things to note outside of that, we had Coffee with a Cop and our business roundtable last month. Thanks to Cat's Coffee and Bruno's for hosting those events. Had some good conversations with community members. I wanted to note that our body cameras were approved by the board last month. We are waiting for that equipment to come in so we can then do our in-house training and policy review. Just wanted to note that this addition of body cameras was within the budget that was approved previously, so it's not additional. Some good news, we obviously are ready for some grants and looking for some outside money. Found out last Friday that we were approved for the Auto Club Group Foundation grant. We're getting nearly $18,000 from them for new speed signs for the roadways. Those are the ones that will pop up your speed, but we are looking at getting the ones that are movable with brackets so we can move them around to different areas where we have problems. If you're following our Facebook page, you probably have noticed. If not, please follow our Facebook page. We are exploring a K9 unit for the department. We've started fundraising so we can get that outside of our budget through all donations. We had 2 events so far, both went great. Want to again thank the Tishigan Lake Lions Club, Rosemont Grill for our first event, which was a pancake breakfast. We did very well. And I want to thank Oak Wine and Spirits for hosting our second event this past weekend. Both went great. We have a good start. Really appreciate the community support. I am currently working on a full proposal for the board for approval. Hope to have that next month or the following month to just outline exactly where the monies are coming from, what we're looking at doing with that, and what the dog is going to provide. Quick glimpse at that, we're looking at a yellow lab, which would do narcotics detection and tracking. We have a lot of kids and a lot of elderly in our community, and this dog would be able to track them through if we end up losing somebody or somebody wanders off. So appreciate the community participation in that.
Chief, I got a question. What are the average veterinary bills on such an animal?
That is actually, I don't know, and I will tell you I don't know because that is another area where I'm going to focus. In my previous position and most other dogs, all of that is usually funded through, again, donations. I have already been in contact with multiple vets in the area that have expressed interest in covering those costs. And to further that, ongoing or recurring costs such as food as well are typically donations. So we're looking at ongoing costs not being covered through taxpayer dollars. Canines are usually fully funded through donations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last thing I want to, well, actually I have 2 things. Sorry, Tim.
No, I understand.
I've been working with county dispatch and county to get our data stream correct and to get all the technicalities out of it from what we do on the road in tickets or calls comes from one database, goes into Phoenix, which is the database or the records management system we use, and then we have to get that information into the courts system. So going from one to the next, and there are gaps in those. So I'm trying to get all of those systems have the capability to talk to each other. We're just now trying to get them to all talk to each other, which will save on time for our clerks and records and getting everything seamless. So we're working on that. We actually brought in a new clerk, part-time clerk for the police department that has a lot of experience in getting those things together. So she's been working on that along with a bunch of other things. Last thing now that I want to touch on is the trainings that our officers have done just in the recent past or what we're looking at doing. One of our officers went to an ASIM training, which is Active Shooter Incident Management. It is a week-long class that teaches them how to set up and respond and get through large-scale incidents, active shooters, other big things that might happen. So that's a huge benefit to the community and to our department to have somebody that had went through that. We just went through the yearly DNR boat patrol update, which I wish would have happened 2 weeks earlier, so I could have been had some more insight for our ordinance meeting that was last week. But we're gonna be going through all of that stuff as well. It gave us a lot of info. I just signed up an officer for motor carrier enforcement class that's put on by the state patrol. That is for commercial motor vehicle laws. It's actually the very first out of 3 classes for commercial motor vehicle enforcement. I know that there's a lot of concerns of that in the community. We have a lot of highways going through a lot of commercial motor vehicles. Like I said, this is step 1. We want to get the other 2 done after that. They only offer this once a year, so get this done, find the other 2. And there are grants and other things out there for the equipment that would be needed to do all this enforcement. So, and I believe that's all I've got for you, barring any questions.
Any questions for the chief?
Chief, I do have a question going back to the body cam topic. Great to see that moving forward. Based on what you laid out in terms of next steps, do you have a sense for when you would expect those body cams to be live in the field?
When I first initially reached out to them to get a quote from them, they were looking at about a month turnaround time from the time we signed to them. So I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, we'll actually take delivery of the components we still need.
And then the training that has to happen, and
I will be doing that as quickly as I possibly can.
great, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you, chief. We have another item under. Consider formalizing, potentially taking action on authorizing the police chief to extend conditional offers of employment for prospective candidates for the purpose of initiating background investigations and advancing the hiring process. All hiring contingent on final town board approval. So I'm gonna defer to you to speak on a little bit, and also our attorney on that, why this is on here.
The reason I brought this up is, in order to do full backgrounds and do certain aspects of a background check for a candidate, you need to give them a conditional offer. Right now, after talking with the attorney, the conditional offer would have to come from the board. We're looking at allowing me to do this to streamline the process. In our last process, we actually would have to bring these candidates before the board twice. Once initially, then once we get the background to get it formally approved. I'm trying to get you, save time and get just the best actual qualified candidates with their background check done to the board for review and approval.
Tony, you have anything to add at all?
No, in talking with the chief, it was just essentially to streamline the process. The board does all the hiring and makes hiring decisions, but the board can delegate that. So it's up to the board if they want to do that for the efficiency.
The reason I ask is the police committee basically interviewed several applicants, most of them part-time for water patrol and stuff like that. And we want to get them hired ASAP. And that way, if chief does find something that on the candidate that we're not gonna move forward, doesn't have to come on the board or waste our time on it. So, but I want to streamline it so we can get the best candidates as possible. So. Any other questions for the chief or the attorney on this? I'll look for a motion.
No.
All right, somebody made a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize chief to extend conditional offers of employment so we can do background investigations to advance the hiring process.
Got a motion looking for a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Now I'll call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, chief. All right, moving on to Tishman Fire Company.
Members of the town board and citizens, following our recent meeting, this is an update regarding emergency response activity for the month of March 2026. Our department has responded to the following calls: 25 EMS calls, 3 fire calls, 1 PI accident, and we had 6 Mavis calls, which was actually the U-Haul in Milwaukee also. We never got all the way there, but we still were toned out for it. So far this month of April, we responded to 15 calls, and year to date, we have 130 calls. We remain committed to ensuring the safety of our community and appreciate our ongoing engagement with these reports. Also, if you were following the Facebook, you see we had a house burn in Caldwell. We burned 2 houses that we acquired, and we're lucky to be led by some instructors from Milwaukee Fire Department and Racine Fire Department. So it was a very good training with local departments and our department as well. So I guess that's it. Thank you for your continued support. I'm sorry I have to leave, but I have another meeting to go to, but I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, any questions for Mark?
No questions. Thank you, Mark.
Mark, thank you.
Okay, I do have Bill McCormick online. If, I'm not sure if he wants to give his WWMD report.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and town supervisors. Yes, we have a WWMD special meeting coming up this Saturday, April 18th, 9 o'clock at the Lions Club Civic Center. That meeting is relative to a proposed increase in our 2026 budget, relative to the 2026 drawdown dredging project. We have to cover costs for analyzing and doing sediment samples for the DNR. So we need to increase our budget slightly. That monies will be coming from our existing pool of revenue that we have already accounted for. So we're not going out to the tax base for any additional revenue to pay for that. In addition to that, we've got the mechanical harvesting that is planned to start the week of May 11th. And then I should also add that buoys will be going out on the water from the PD on May 1st. And it should be noted too that unfortunately it appears as though we've had a theft occur on one of the winter buoys that occurred a couple weeks ago that was reported to the police department. Are there any questions with my report?
Can you email it to me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Questions for Bill McCormick? I do
No
not.
questions.
No questions, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thank you.
Park and Road Department.
Okay, parks. The water for the park was turned on May 26th. Bathrooms at the park were and have been open since then as well, and will remain so until they are shut down next winter. That's all I have for parks.
Okay.
Road report. We have 3 snow events in the last month, bringing us to a total of 28 snow events for the season. That's a little under normal for the season. We responded to 16 calls for downed trees on roadways the past month. We put down 20 ton of coal patch so far for the season. The online auction through govdeals.com has started with some of the equipment, including the water trailer, case tractor, and shoulder machine. Those items will remain up for auction through April 24th. And we have one reminder that Water Beautification Month is in full swing, and there are 3 weeks left to get out there and make Waterford clean again. Any questions?
Any questions for Jim?
No questions.
I have no questions. Thank you, Jim. Operations fee.
Thank you, Chairman and the board. The Operations Committee met on the 23rd of March to kick off our 2026 meetings. We discussed the IT review. I know Tom is back in the fray and working on that. It's a big project. The Operations and the Ordinance Committee have decided to temporarily kind of table our meetings as we both have a lot of projects on our plate.
just it's a time constraint. The committee discussed our RFP for the tax assessor vendors. We had three vendors participate. We've chosen to have two vendors come in for vetting. One will be in on Wednesday and the other will be in on Thursday. We'll do an initial pass-through review Q&A. We've also been working with Jim on his needs list and his list for equipment for sale. And as I talk to Jim, probably at least once or twice a week, trying to keep that dialogue going to help wherever we can. And Jim is looking for some pricing updates on that plow truck that we tabled last year. I know he's working on some new quotes and some additional equipment that he could use based upon the sale of the auction items. And none of those would come out of the current budget, or either budgeted or the sale would fund those items. So I want to thank Jim for his hard work. I know he's trying to stir 5 buckets of paint with 2 arms, but keep at it, it'll get done. Do you have any questions for me? I do not. Board?
I just, a couple comments to expand on one of the things that Chris mentioned. The IT infrastructure and security review project, just as an update to the board. That RFP closes on April 17th. We solicited 13 different firms. And one firm that we didn't solicit came to us looking to participate in the process. As of today, we have 1 proposal in. 3 firms have declined to propose, and the rest have all confirmed with me that they are working on their proposals and that we should have it by the 17th. So we will have a healthy set of bids to review for that project when they come in, and looking to move that forward as well. So
Sounds good.
the last thing that I would mention, that was an operations committee item and one of our significant projects since the inception of the committee, is that our town Facebook page has gone live. There was significant work and effort from many people on that. Heartfelt thank you to the town clerk's team for all the work that they did on that. And Brianna, I think we're happy to report that as of the start of this meeting, within a week, we have 500 followers of the town Facebook page. So anyone here who is not a follower of the town Facebook page, I would encourage you to get out there and do it if you're a social media inclined type of person. So congratulations to all on that.
Thank you, Todd.
Oh, sorry.
You can say it again. You can do it again.
All right, moving on to ordinance committee.
Chairman, board members. The committee met to discuss and make changes to the voting ordinances requested by the WPD on March 26th. Town attorney attended to the meeting's subject matter. Reserve Officer Gary Hay represented the WPD and collaborated with Water Patrol Officer Linda B. to draft the ordinances. 2 residents attended and provided valuable input. This meeting was very productive. The committee approved or modified most suggested changes and voted unanimously to remove a few. Several items required input from Water Patrol, so they were tabled until the next meeting, which was set for April 2nd, 2026. After Linda B. confirmed that she could attend. At the first meeting, only 2 residents attended, as many did not know the ordinance committee was addressing these ordinances. After the first meeting, a good amount of misinformation about what was being discussed spread through the voting community. As a result, a large group of residents attended the second meeting. The committee allowed residents to speak as each tabled item was properly introduced to the board and motion made. Residents' comments were considered before committee discussion and any vote. All tabled items were approved at the following meeting. Of the items brought back, all but one passed unanimously 4-0. The remaining item passed three yes, 1 abstain. The committee voted to send the completed ordinances with the recommendation of approval to the board. Much like with the peer ordinance, it is also recommended that the board address penalties for ordinance violations. Thought we were done with that, but we're not. The committee was notified today that the chief and water patrol attended a DNR conference last week, and additional changes are needed. The committee requests that the board take no action until the committee reviews these changes. The committee would like to address these at our April 30th meeting. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Ward? And I was the one that did not put it on the agenda because I knew there were some things talking with the chief and the attorney. So I wanted to wait until we get a final draft before it comes to us, because we have other things going on. We don't need to do it twice.
Makes sense.
So. Any questions for Dave? Huh? Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. All right, this old business, discussion of possible action regarding ordinance update to recycling collections, Johnson DNR. We passed this one last month.
Town Planning Commission,
Oh, I missed the planning, sorry about that. All right.
and then
Planning commission recommendations.
Tom's gonna do that.
Okay, Town Planning Commission, there was one item, a land division CSM that was brought forward for property on Riverside Road. Two residents spoke voicing concerns about that, specifically related to drainage concerns based upon observations of how the property is currently draining. The Planning Commission did move forward to approve the CSM as presented, noting that there are additional steps with respect to drainage plans and whatnot that need to come forward for future approvals if any construction is going to be done on those lots. We also did hear, apparently Supervisor Eulander was at the Planning Commission online. He did, after the meeting, raise questions regarding how this might apply to the town municipal code, section 8.7, subparagraph B, subparagraph 9, which specifically relates to soil identification on the CSMs. And I don't know, Attorney Kreshik, if you had a chance to look at that in the short while since it's been brought to the attention here.
I did. So in my, I guess, really brief research on this, I don't see the soil type listed on this CSM. The ordinance does say that, it goes on further, that if the specific type of soil is classified as having a severe restriction for sanitary purposes, it's got to be identified by shading. That, in my research, applies to certain types of soils in terms of their permeability, that it may be unsanitary for septics and groundwater contamination and things like that. So I don't believe that that applies here, although I don't see on the CSM, unless I'm missing it, any identification of the soil type.
All three of these lots are sewer though too, correct? The part of the sanitary district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How does the board want to move forward here?
This is just the first one's just a preliminary one. I have to do another one anyways, correct?
It's got two more steps in my
Yeah,
understanding.
okay.
We got to go county next and then.
And ultimately, my understanding is that the town is ultimately accountable for approval of any drainage plans. And there are no specific drainage plans with this CSM at this point in time, so that would be a subsequent approval step with any proposed construction associated with those lots.
We do have the engineer here representing the landowner. Does the board want to address him at all? Ask any of these questions?
Yes,
Come on up,
sure,
Jeff.
come on up.
State your name and who you're with.
Tim Lynch, Lynch and Associates. Yes, as far as the soil types, this is a preliminary CSM. We would be happy to add those to the CSM that gets recorded. Again, drainage we've kind of addressed already, but that would be subsequent when any building permits would be taken out.
Great. That sounds good. So I'm gonna move to approve with that, addition that Mr. Lynch described, that the CSM in the future gets revised with the soil types that are added to it. And also noting that any drainage plan will subsequently need to be approved by this board. So I'll approve to ratify the planning commission's decisions with that amendment.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I believe there was discussion about how we should be removed, but I don't think that was in the planning commission.
Well, we're making a new one. I'm gonna make a motion, so we need a second, then we can do discussion. I'll second it for discussion purposes. So Dale, we can add that to Tom's thing, the town, make sure the boathouse is put on there, removed, that can be put on the CSM.
That's a good reminder, Dale. I'm sorry I missed that in my notes here. So I'll amend my motion that the boathouse removal also be added as a contingency of this approval.
It's not on.
Which I know that's where we're not, it's not on there, but he said in the meeting that he'd move it, but we should at least put it in the final motion.
I would just ask if you could have it, because they haven't decided they're gonna take it down or not, if we could have it either added to the CSM or removed. Just give us that flexibility, I think that'd be appreciated.
Okay, you just said you were gonna remove it.
What's that?
You said the previous meeting you were gonna remove it,
That-
now
that's
you're
been-
not gonna move it, or?
I don't exactly know what everyone exactly wants to do.
Okay, but it's gotta be on the CSM, I think it's worth.
on it if need be.
Come up and state your name and stuff. please.
If, just give me 1 second, I don't think.
My name is John Klepp. David Allison is his son-in-law. With the shed that's by the water, it is surrounded by a bunch of shrubs and bushes. And at the time, we didn't think it was necessary to necessarily remove it because it was where the house was. They would be removed once somebody would build on the property. At this point, it doesn't impede any drainage from the driveway. And most of that water that does sit in there is driveway and maybe 10 feet into the land going to the water. And as I've grown up here my whole life and I grew up on that side of the waterway, it's always sand and gravel on that side of the river. And it drains very quickly. So I went there on Easter Sunday and everything that we received on Friday was gone. So.
Again, I think it should be on the CSM. Along, I don't care, the board can decide,
Okay.
but it's gotta be in the CSM, we can't miss a
Got
building.
Yeah,
So,
well,
we can't miss a building.
yeah, well, when we add the soils request, we'll add this, that's to as well.
Okay, so the motion Tom made is adding the soil things and the building, and that's
And
the only,
addition of the boathouse.
yes.
Perfect, thank you.
And I seconded. Any further discussion on this? Okay, so I have a motion, second call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we'll go to old business, discussion of possible action regarding ordinance update, regarding recycling collection, Wisconsin DNR. This was sort of mandated to us to update. And everybody's got a copy of that stuff, they have a new finalized copy this month. So I will defer to Tony, you wanna talk about this at all?
Not really, this was drafted by the DNR and it's, I mean, it's like you said, they gave it to us, so.
So my question is, the copy that we have here is annotated with, town ordinance committee recommendations, the language that's highlighted in blue. Are we recommending that language be incorporated into the ordinance? There are several sections that include that.
Section 12 and section 13.
There are other ones as well.
I was even before that.
So that was a question. I don't know what we're looking to approve here and whether or not the ordinance committee recommendations would be baked into the actual final document for approval.
And Tony, I believe you were at that meeting too.
That one I was not.
We're not, okay.
Okay, I guess, I don't know if there is a time for approval on this, the state's looking for, but if there is not, I would move to table this item until we can get that question resolved and whether or not the ordinance committee recommendations will actually be put into this ordinance.
Other board members? There's a motion on the table.
I'll second that.
A second, any further discussion? Dave and Tony, you'll be at the meeting the 30th.
Yeah, I'll be, he already asked me.
Can you talk to Tony?
Them changes were done based on public input from that meeting. And public raised some very good points. Meeting took it into consideration as a whole, and every one of the recommendations that were made passed 4-0.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that's important information, Dave, and if those changes will be incorporated in here, then we should formally incorporate them in here as opposed to just notes on the document.
And just to add on that for the board's information, there I don't believe I did with this draft, or I'd have to look at the exact changes. I did go through some of the proposals from the ordinance committee. The ones I saw in the original draft, it was okay to do that. So there was no conflict with what the DNR is mandating or what the changes were. So I'll double check that as well on this final draft. Okay, we'll get those added.
So then maybe just to save everybody some time for the next question that I would ask, if we put that in there. There is one item here, section 13, sub item 8, where the ordinance committee has on the first and third Saturday of each calendar month during which the town recycling center is open, town residents, each residential household should be limited to 2 disposal tires. But my question about this is, we have had some residents come forward recently and propose potential changes to the days and times when the recycling center is open. And this board has not taken up any action on that or even discussion on it up to this point. But I wonder about the wisdom of actually incorporating current recycling center open, closed dates into this ordinance if we would change those at some point in the future. Does that make sense?
I do, yeah. I believe, I think that can be modified and chairs here, that can be. I'm fine with the maximum 2 waste tires per day, but now let's not put when the dump's open. That seems fit. I'd like to keep it flexible for the working side. It's been the same way for 50 years.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't want to tie it to anything.
No. We are getting some residents who are looking for potential changes, though. I want to acknowledge that.
If I could just make a statement that is due at the end of this month.
Okay.
Let's do it at the end of this month.
That is correct.
All right, your meeting's not till the end of the month, 30th, so that's not gonna work, so. Instead of putting it back in the ordinance committee, Tony, can you review this and let me know? We're gonna be having a PPA meeting coming up, and we'll have to put this on the special meeting. To get it done.
Okay, thank you.
Just want to move forward with that. Some of my news.
Thank you.
Can you, as soon as you get that done, let me know when I get up for the review.
Okay.
But thank you, Dave, for your committees. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to change your motion to table it to the WPPA or?
That was definitely part of the motion of this discussion.
Okay, well,
So we
Well,
have
I'm moving that we table to future
Okay.
discussion of the
Okay.
board based on a revised ordinance that includes the changes that the ordinance committee has recommended.
And I second it, so
okay.
let's call for a vote on that. Motion
Well-
to table it, till further meeting,
Well, Andrew seconded it.
so then Andrew. You want to second it? All right, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, new business, liquor license application, Anchor Nail, 6812 North Michigan Road. Please come on up. We're here.
Chad
All right,
here.
there you are. You blended in.
Chad.
Chairman.
All right, how you doing?
Good, Chad Schmidt, 789 Still Pond Drive. Please fire away with any questions, but we're really excited.
Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so we are taking over the former Hilltop. New name, new branding, new everything. Anchor Nail is what we went with, and I've got a really good team behind me, or us, I should say, and we've made a lot of improvements to the place. I think when you guys walk in, if you do, we appreciate it. You'll be pretty impressed, and so we are going to. We're going more back to the family friendly. We're gonna not be a late night bar. We're not doing the 2 a.m. stuff. We are going to actually, a lot of neighbors have stopped by while we've been working, and it's very encouraging. The comments and the words that everybody has brought forward, and in the future, obviously, if we do any type of outdoor, not music or anything like that, but with the deck and things like that, we will work with our neighbors and with you guys with whatever we need to do, so. We appreciate it. Any questions, please fire away.
Okay, looking at a motion to approve his application.
I'll make that motion.
Looking for a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second, any discussion now?
So
I do have a comment, and you just kind of addressed it, I think, with the outdoor deck, because in the past there were concerns about the whole parking lot, and so the outdoor deck is a defined area, and that's the only part that would be used for entertainment or customers to use.
Well, I don't know about customers to use. I guess there's on the parking lot side, there's some tables and things like that.
There's some outside sitting area for smoking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's sort
On the-
of fenced in.
Yeah,
I'm just concerned that this doesn't turn into a music event again where we had troubles in the past, and I know you alluded to that, so.
yeah, I don't want to say that it's never gonna happen. I don't want to go on record saying that, but I will tell you that we are more. That's not our focus. Our focus is to try to keep everything indoors as much as possible.
And how about your food service?
Food service?
Do you have any fish fries?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we will, we actually just hired a chef, and so this week we'll be testing products, all ingredients, things like that. So we're gonna take the next 2 weeks roughly to, test everything out, couple soft openings, friends and family, things like that, until we get solid with our, processes. So May 1st is what I'm comfortable putting on record that we should be open, but knock on wood. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, you'll see us open, so.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I only have one question for our attorney. He's got on the application, the tiki bar down by the water. I know that county had something or.
They had, he was,
Sell beer and stuff.
well, he was told to remove that, not Chad, but the previous owner was told to remove that.
to remove the tiki bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, there's something about, I think, the state of the art.
I don't know if there was ever a permit pulled or
Yeah.
anything like that. He was told to remove it and it was never removed.
Oh, Tony, can you clarify that at all?
I have no idea.
All right, well, that's
I
fine.
just hear about this.
Chad, were you aware that there was a concern about the tiki bar at the waterfront?
We were not, no.
Okay, I remember, I don't have the letter, but I think he got a letter from county or somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
He tried it, it wasn't, there's a simple, I think there's a different permitting process to sell alcohol down by the water.
Got it,
So if
okay.
that's your intention to have a bar or sell off coolers, stuff like that, I don't know if that's gonna be kosher. I don't think we can approve that part of this right now,
Sure.
but everything else for your bar location.
I got enough on my plate. So I appreciate that. I will start working on that, looking into those things. I'll reach out to the
Yeah, so like we
county.
could revisit, but
Yeah.
this is only good for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're back here.
Yeah, I know,
Right,
yeah,
so.
yeah.
It'll be addressed, so that's the only thing I would like to add to the motion, that we can't put selling alcohol down the water.
Yeah.
All right, the board agree with that, I'm gonna call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. All right, I got a couple things on the chair report. First off, Tom already mentioned, thank you for everybody got our Facebook up and running. It's great, and 500 people is really great too. Next in the work I'm working on, working on a community newsletter. And hopefully we'll have our first issue come out in June or July. We're looking to do it 3 times a year. Each department will have something in there. I'll have a report. Similar to what some of the other communities do, we're looking to start that for everybody in the town. So that'll be forthcoming. The Boyden Park project is still in process. We have not forgotten about it, it's not off the radar. I met with Jim this morning to discuss a few items, and now that we're getting the weather better, we're gonna push on getting it done, and then we'll decide from there. I'm not gonna give our hand at all, but we have things in the works there. The WPPA agreement, we've got our 4th version of that agreement. That'll be a special meeting coming up probably in the next week or 2 when I hear back from the other attorney. Meet with him again, and hopefully we'll get this ratified. My goal is by the end of the month, hopefully we'll get that done, so. Then the final thing, I'm looking for, well, 2 final things. Committee a post went out, anybody looking to serve on a committee, please apply with Tina in the office so we can review and I can present something to the board next month. When I do my appointments and stuff. Now, the final thing, I have one, I should have done this on the day of your report here. For John that served on your community, I have a certificate of appreciation for him. So he's not here right now, I'm not seeing him. So I will reach out to him and see when he's moving to Tennessee or not, if he can make next month, or we'll just give it to him, we'll take a picture of the office and put it on Facebook, but here's Mr. Funks. All right, and then the final one I hear, Mr. Dale, you've been serving with us for many years. All right,
Stand up.
and I have
Stand up, stand up.
Town of Water Certificate of Appreciation for you. Wow. So thank you very much for all you've done for the years, and this is your final meeting.
Well, thank you, Tim. Bill, you've been a tremendous asset to this town. Thank you so much for all your service.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being on this board all these years, and I think the town is in great hands. We've got a great board. I think Bill will be an excellent addition to the board. We have the finest clerk and treasurer in the whole state, and Liana, you've been a great addition to the office staff.
Thank you.
The chief, I think you're the right person to take over police department and rebuild our police department. And Jim, I can't say how pleased I am with the work that you've done since taking over as superintendent of the DPW. Things are running smoothly. There's great communication. You guys are a great team. There isn't much between the three of you that you can't figure out.
Good work, never get too late.
And my background has been in the police department all these many years as police and court clerk. It's just an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to have served all these years, and I wish the town good luck. Again, I know you're in good hands with every department, so. That's it.
Congratulations.
All right, looking for a motion to adjourn.
Dale, you want this
To adjourn.
All right.
final one?
Have a
Second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
23.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
very much. Tim and Doug, or Dale, excuse me, if I could get your picture under the sign, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Chad, before you leave, if I could have a quick chat with you.